What's up, Fractal family? This is Steve Sterlacci, and today we are going to be looking at how to control the new ToneX pedal with your FM9 via MIDI. Now, everybody knows that the FM9 is, I've called it the ultimate modeler. It's such a powerful and amazing floorboard unit. And this new ToneX pedal that came out, if you don't know what it is, it basically captures real signal chains, real amplifiers, and puts them into a pedal. So the ToneX software has been out for a few months now, but the pedal just came out recently where it's being made where the software can be put onto a pedal board. So I thought it'd be a cool idea to combine this with the FM9 and basically make the ultimate direct solution for any and all applications. Now, before you go off saying, oh, but Steve, the FM9 is perfect the way it is. It doesn't need the tone capture. Yeah, I get it. The FM9 models are great. But the difference here is that I have all of this stuff here in my studio. I have expensive mic pre's, I've got expensive microphones, and I record my guitars here with my real stuff all the time. So I am interested in taking my real amps, my real sounds, my 63 Bassman, I've got a Samson Era Matchless DC30, Soldano SLO30, my main amps that I use in the studio and stuff with my signal chain, my EQ, my gain structure, being able to take that and put it into the FM9 with the FM9's, limitless and unbelievable effects. It's a pretty sick setup. Is it necessary? Absolutely not. Do you need the ToneX? Absolutely not. But having a situation like mine, or if you're interested in, if you were like a Kemper user, or you swear that you need those amp profiles, you need the real amp sound, then this is something for you to check out. And if you already have a ToneX pedal and an FM9, this is a cool little application for you to combine the two. So just going over routing here, I have the ToneX pedal in what I'm calling an effects loop of the FM9, but really I'm just going output 3 into the ToneX, and then out of the ToneX into input 3. And you see here in FM Edit, I'm going out 3 to in 3. And that is what's giving me my sound. And I'm also using the MIDI out of the FM9 to the MIDI in of the ToneX so that I could change my amp model seamlessly with no gap in audio. And this is another plus of the ToneX versus the FM9. Even if you have a different amp, if you have 4 channels worth of amps in your amp block, there's still no way to do seamless amp switching, but the ToneX is seamless. So if you really need seamless amp switching, this is another great option for you to have, and you'll have pristinely dialed in tones without having to tweak and mess about with all the settings. I personally get some option paralysis when I start a preset with the FM9 because you have so many unlimited parameters to adjust, and most of the time you get away with just the tone and the ideal tab, but there's always temptation to want to keep digging and trying different things, whereas when you have these captures, it's just like, okay, good, this I dialed in on the real amp, and now I'm just going to put that into the sound, and end of story. So let's take a look at what I did and how I set this up. So we already talked about the outputs, and this is kind of the same easy view template that I already made a video about. My output 3 is here, and you'll see that I'm sending output 3 here, and I'm coming back into input 3 here. So basically my amp is in between this here, and this is just a MIDI block that I just dropped in. With the Fractal stuff, you don't need that to be in the signal chain. It just needs to be announced that it's there. So I put this MIDI block in here, and you can see, like, with a pretty full pedal board, and I have a lot of room to go here, I'm only using 40% CPU with this, which is crazy. I mean, you could build some really, really complex presets here and not need to use the amp and cab to save even more space. So what I've got set up here is 4 channels of amplifiers in the ToneX, all different things that I've made. So there's this Soldano SLO30, there's one cleaner sound and one from the overdrive channel. There's my Samson Era DC30, and there's also my Analog Outfitter Sarge, which is a pretty popular boutique Nashville session player amp that a lot of those cats use. That's over there, though. I can't point to it. But I've got 4 channels set up where I'm MIDI switching into those. And MIDI switching with the ToneX is really easy. The list of the MIDI program change numbers are right there in the librarian when you set up your device. So respectively, I have 0 through 4 are my numbers. So as you can see here, FM Edit, I can just go through here, and you see that my value's changing. And that's essentially my amps changing. So for example, here's what we sound like here. This is using the SLO clean sound. So this is my Soldano on the crunch channel with the gain dialed back, so it's just a little edge of breakup. And then I can seamlessly switch to the Soldano overdrive channel. Right now, that's the Analog Outfitters Sarge, and I also have the reverb from the ToneX pedal on some of these. We'll figure it out as we go, but this Analog Outfitters Sarge has the reverb on from the ToneX, just a plate reverb setting. This is one of my favorite sounds. This Analog Outfitters one came out really great, and it's up for free on the ToneNet if you want to check it out. And then I can switch to my DC30. So I've got 4 killer amp sounds right here that I could switch to seamlessly, as opposed to using a block where I have to use the channels of a block and not have seamless switching. Also, again, these are really my real amps dialed in. So that's a big benefit of having the ToneX. And to set this up has been really easy. So say I needed to reset this block. Did I reset all of them? Okay, so say you just added this MIDI block, and this is what it looks like when you start out. Again, I do have it connected MIDI out to MIDI in, out of the FM9 into the ToneX. So now, if I'm going to start from scratch, we want to do a program change. So I'm just going to go to PC, channel 1. The ToneX comes set on channel 1. Just double check in your global settings that it's on channel 1, but it should be. And value 0 is going to be my SLO cleaner sound. And you can hit test and you'll see it reflected on the device. And now when I go to scene 2, you'll see that this changes again and we just start over. Except now my value is going to be 1 because that is where my SLO overdrive is set. And now going to scene 3, program change, and that's going to be value 2. And then when we get to scene 4, program change, that's going to be set to 3. So I'm just double checking on the unit that everything works, and it does. Now from here, you just build your preset around this, so you can just hit your effects layout and go crazy with the pedal board. Build as big of a complex rig as you want. I mean, nowadays with the FM9, you're not going to run out of DSP, especially not using the amp and cab. So this is really a limitless setup right here, and you're getting the best of the modelers in terms of effects and stuff from the Fractal, combined with the real amp sounds of the ToneX. This is such a lethal setup. It's such a great setup. It sounds great to me. I'm really having fun playing around with this. And yeah, that's how I have this set up. And then I can go to my effects layout and I have my drive pedals that I can kick on. Now I'm just going to turn on the reverb. I just got the London plate stock settings. I just brought the time down. And I've got this DM2, which is just a little slapback and a big high cut. So that's a nice dark repeat. I mean, this is where I live in this edge of breakup world. And then in my drive blocks, I have the new Buxom boost, the new Buxom boost that's in here. That's giving a little bit of hair. Then I can hit that with the Horizon drive, which is going to be my other drive pedal, drive 1. So I want to hit that with a little bit more delay. let's switch over to, let's go to the DC30, mess with some more stuff. Got the reverb turned off, so I'm going to turn that on in the Fractal. I'm going to hit it with this tremolo. Maybe not the best delay setting for that. So that's a quick look on how you can use your FM9 to control your ToneX pedal, or really to just control anything with MIDI. You see how easy Fractal makes it with that MIDI block. It's literally a breeze. Probably the easiest MIDI assignment device that potentially I've ever seen. I know the Helix does one where you could just hit learn and tap a button, but I think this actually works a lot faster when you have that one MIDI block and using it during the different scenes. Really enjoying using this setup. So let me know if you got anything out of this video. If you're interested in more ToneX stuff, you can subscribe to the channel. I've got a bunch more content coming on it, as well as the FM9. I'm really loving this setup, and this might be my new touring rig. Either just the FM9 or maybe the FM9 and the ToneX. I still got to have some figuring out to do, but I'm really loving the way this sounds. So let me know what you think of the tones and if this is something that you're interested in. And if you made it this far in the video, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.